Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Native Flow English. I'm Sarah, your host for today. If you're new to this channel, I want you to know that we upload fresh English learning videos every single day to help you steadily improve your fluency. In today's lesson, you're not just going to improve your English listening skills, but you'll also boost your vocabulary building abilities and your overall confidence when it comes to speaking. We're diving into a really useful topic that'll help you figure out the meaning of pretty much any English word without constantly reaching for a dictionary. You'll learn how to understand meaning from context, how to make educated guesses about words, and how to train your brain to pick up on patterns in English. Whether you're reading a story, listening to a conversation, or practicing English with a friend, these techniques will help you expand your vocabulary in a way that feels natural and effortless. By the end of this video, you'll be able to understand unfamiliar words on your own, and you'll see how to keep growing your vocabulary every single day until speaking fluently feels totally natural. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss any of our new lessons designed just for you. So, take a nice deep breath, relax, and get ready to build your English vocabulary with me today. Let's jump right in. When you first start thinking about learning English, it can seem like a massive task. There are thousands and thousands of words, and you might feel like you need to memorize every single one of them. But the truth is, you don't need to learn every word straight from a dictionary. Actually, relying only on a dictionary can slow you down because it makes you depend on translation instead of training your brain to understand things naturally. Today, we're going to work together on a really valuable skill: the ability to understand any English word, even if you've never seen it before. By using your brain power, your imagination, and the context around you. Let's begin by picturing a really simple situation. You're reading a short story in English, and you come across a new word. At first, you might panic. You stop reading, grab your phone, and quickly type the word into Google or your dictionary app. You see the meaning, but a few minutes later, you've already forgotten it. Why is that? Because you didn't really understand it within the context of the story. You just translated it. That's not how kids learn words. And it's not the best way for you either. Instead, the goal is to train your brain to stay calm. Notice the clues around the word and make smart guesses that connect the word to the story or conversation. Let's practice this together right now. Imagine you read this sentence. She opened the window to let in some fresh breeze. Now, maybe you don't know the word breeze. Instead of stopping and looking it up, take a look around the sentence. You see window and fresh. You also know that we open windows to let air in, so you can probably guess that breeze means some kind of gentle wind or air. And guess what? You're absolutely right. That's exactly how you start learning words without a dictionary. Here's another practice example for you. Read this sentence slowly with me. The children were giggling in the garden as they played with the puppy. Now, maybe giggling is a new word for you. But look carefully at the sentence. Children, garden, puppy. This sounds like a happy scene. The kids are smiling, laughing, and having fun. So, giggling must mean laughing in a light or playful way, and again, you've understood it without translating it. Take a moment and repeat the sentence after me slowly. The children were giggling in the garden as they played with the puppy. Say it again with me. But this time, try to imagine the happy sound of giggling. This helps your brain remember the meaning naturally. You see, words aren't just about letters. They're about feelings, images, actions, and emotions. If you connect the word to an experience in your mind, you don't need a dictionary. This is why context is your biggest teacher. Now, let's talk about some daily life situations. Let's say you go to a cafe and you hear the waiter say, "Would you like that beverage hot or cold?" Maybe beverage is a new word for you, but look at the situation. You're in a cafe, and the waiter is offering you something hot or cold. It must be a drink. Yes, beverage means drink. Isn't it amazing how you can figure out the meaning of words just from the environment around you? Here's another real-life exercise for you to practice. Imagine you're watching a movie and one character says, "I can't believe how enormous that building is." If enormous is a new word, don't stop the movie. Just look at the situation. They're staring at a building. The tone of voice suggests surprise. Enormous must mean very big. Repeat it with me. Enormous means very big. Now, try saying the sentence out loud. That building is enormous. Picture a huge building in your mind while you say it. The main idea here is that your brain is way smarter than you think it is. It has the ability to solve little puzzles when you see or hear new words. Every sentence gives you hints, like a detective solving a mystery. And the more you practice, the stronger this skill becomes. Let's do a little mini exercise right now to test your detective skills. Listen to this sentence. After the long hike, they were completely exhausted and sat down on the grass to rest. Which word might be new for you? Yes, exhausted. Now, think about it. They had a long hike. They sat down on the grass to rest. How do people usually feel after a lot of hard physical activity? They feel very tired. So, exhausted must mean very tired. Say it with me. Exhausted means very tired. Good job. This is exactly how you grow your vocabulary naturally. Now, let's build on this with some repetition practice. I'm going to give you a few sentences, and you try to guess the meaning of the new word in each one. Don't worry if your guess isn't perfect, because even guessing is training your brain to think in English. Ready? The little boy was shivering in the cold winter air. What could shivering mean? Think about the cold winter air. Your body shakes when it's cold, so shivering means shaking because of the cold. Say it with me slowly. Shivering means shaking because of the cold. Here's the next one. She glanced at her watch before leaving the house. The new word is glanced. The situation involves a watch and leaving. You don't usually stare at your watch for a long time. You look at it quickly. So, glanced means looked quickly. Say it with me. Glanced means looked quickly. Another one. The garden was filled with vibrant flowers in the spring. The new word is vibrant. Think about flowers, spring, and a garden. These things are usually bright, colorful, and full of life. So, vibrant means bright and full of energy. Say it with me. Vibrant means bright and full of energy. Every time you do this exercise, you're actually training your brain to stop translating and to start thinking in English. And the more you do it, the faster you become at understanding new words instantly. Here's a really useful trick I want to share with you. Instead of trying to memorize words in isolation, always keep them inside a story or a picture in your mind. For example, don't just learn the word shivering. Imagine yourself on a snowy morning standing outside, shaking because you forgot your jacket. That picture will stick in your memory much longer than a dictionary definition. Let's try a longer practice passage. Now, listen carefully. When the lights went out during the storm, Emma felt a sudden surge of panic, but then she quickly lit a candle and calmed down. The new word is surge. You can guess what it means from the sentence. The lights went out. Emma felt panic, but only for a short moment. So, it's a sudden, strong feeling. That's surge. Surge means a sudden, strong increase of emotion or energy. Repeat it with me. Surge means a sudden tendency, strong increase. Now, say the whole sentence again. She felt a sudden surge of panic. Notice how your mind connects the feeling to the word. That's how you build vocabulary naturally. Another one. The teacher commended the students for their hard work. The new word is commended. The sentence tells you it involves a teacher, students, and hard work. What does a teacher usually do in this case? He or she praises them. So, commended means praised. Repeat it with me. Commended means praised. Then, say, the teacher commended the students for their hard work. Great job. The secret to mastering vocabulary is practice. Practice. And more practice. You don't need to memorize endless word lists. You need to encounter words inside real situations again and again. That's why listening, reading, and speaking are so important. They give your brain tons of opportunities to notice patterns and absorb words naturally. As we go on, I'll give you even more examples, exercise, and little stories that will help you strengthen this skill. And by the end of this lesson, you'll realize that you don't have to be afraid of unknown words anymore. Instead, you can welcome them as opportunities to grow. Sometimes, when learners see a new word, they immediately think, I don't know this, so I can't understand the sentence. But this isn't true. You don't always need to know the exact dictionary meaning to understand the main idea. In fact, native speakers often guess at meanings, too. When they read complex texts or hear technical terms, what matters most is grasping the general idea, the feeling, and the purpose of the word. Let me give you an example. Imagine this sentence. The detective inspected the mysterious object carefully. Now, suppose you don't know the word inspected. Do you stop there? Of course not. You look at detective, mysterious object, and carefully. A detective usually looks closely at things, so inspected must mean looked at carefully. Even if you don't know the exact dictionary definition, your understanding is accurate enough for the story. That's the power of context. Here's a practice exercise for you. Say this sentence out loud with me. The detective inspected the mysterious object carefully. Now, close your eyes and imagine the scene. A detective with a magnifying glass bending over to study something unusual. That mental image locks the meaning of inspected into your brain without translation. Let's try another one together. After dinner, she decided to stroll through the park. Maybe the word stroll is new to you. But think about the sentence, after dinner. Through the park, people don't usually run after dinner. They walk slowly, so stroll means to walk in a slow and relaxed way. Say it with me. Stroll means to walk slowly and relaxed. Now, repeat the sentence. She decided to stroll through the park. Can you feel the calm mood of the word? That's how you learn without a dictionary. This method works everywhere in daily life. If you're watching TV and you hear a character say, "I was astonished by the view," you don't need a dictionary. You know from the scene that maybe they're looking at mountains or fireworks or something amazing. Astonished must mean very surprised or amazed. You guessed it right. Now, repeat with me. Astonished means amazed. Let's practice more with short stories. Because stories give you rich context. Listen carefully. When the heavy rain finally ceased, the children rushed outside to splash in the puddles. Which word might be new here? Yes. Ceased. Now think about the sentence. Rain. Finally. Children rushing outside. It must mean the rain stopped. So, ceased means stopped. Repeat it with me. Ceased means stopped. Now, say the sentence. The rain finally ceased. Your brain remembers it because you connected it with children running outside happily. Here's another short story. Although the box looked ordinary, inside it contained a precious gift. Maybe precious is new for you, but if something inside a box is described as precious, what could it be? Something very valuable or very important. Yes. Precious means valuable. Repeat with me. Precious means valuable. Then say, it contained a precious gift. The wonderful thing about this practice is that you're training your mind to become flexible. You don't freeze when you come across new words. You smile and think, okay. Let me play detective. Let me guess. And when you guess, even if you're not perfect, you're strengthening your understanding and memory. Now, let's do some shadowing practice, where you repeat after me slowly and clearly. I'll give you a sentence with a new word. First listen, then repeat. Ready? The puppy was trembling during the thunderstorm. Repeat with me. The puppy was trembling during the thunderstorm. What does trembling mean here? Think. Puppy. Thunderstorm. Fear. Trembling means shaking because of fear. Good. Next one. She whispered a secret into her friend's ear. Repeat with me. She whispered a secret into her friend's ear. What does whispered mean? Yes. It means speaking very quietly. Whisper. Try whispering the word right now softly. That helps you remember. Next one. The baby grasped her mother's finger tightly. Repeat with me. The baby grasped her mother's finger tightly. What does grasped mean? It means held tightly. Yes. Say it again. Grasped means held tightly. See how natural this becomes. You're not memorizing isolated words. You're living them, feeling them, and practicing them inside sentences. This is exactly how native speakers grow their vocabulary without ever opening a dictionary. Let me share another trick with you. When you come across a new word, don't just think about its meaning. Try to imagine a situation from your own life where you could use it. For example, the word stroll. You could picture yourself strolling in your own neighborhood, strolling with a friend, strolling on a beach during a vacation. This personal connection makes the word a part of your memory. Let's do a little life connection practice. Now, think about yesterday. Did you stroll anywhere? Maybe you walked slowly to the store. Maybe you walked in your garden. Now describe it to yourself. Yesterday I strolled to the store. Good. Or maybe, I strolled with my dog in the evening. Can you see how it feels real now? That's when learning sticks. We're going to go even deeper soon with strategies to figure out longer and more complicated words. But remember this: every word gives you hints. The sentence, the story, the feelings, the situation, all of them are like little arrows pointing toward the meaning. And your brain, with practice, learns to see the arrows and follow them. One of the strongest skills you can develop as an English learner is the ability to notice word families. Lots of words are connected to each other by a root, or a small piece that carries meaning. Once you learn one word, you can guess the meaning of many others that look similar. This is another way to understand words without depending on a dictionary. For example, think about the word happy. You probably already know this one. Now, if you see happiness, what does it mean? Of course, it's the state of being happy. And if you see unhappy, it means not happy, just from the root happy. You can understand 3 or more words. That's how your vocabulary grows naturally. Let's practice with another root. The word act. If you know act means to do something, then you can also guess that action means the thing done. Actor means the person who does it. And active means doing something, not sitting still. All of these are related. You didn't need a dictionary for any of them. Now, repeat after me slowly to train your brain. Act, action, actor, active. Feel the rhythm. Can you sense how they're all connected? Good! This pattern is everywhere in English, and once you start noticing it, you can learn dozens of words from just one root. Here's a small exercise for you. I'll give you a base word, and you try to think of related forms. Ready? The base word is create. Take a second. What comes to mind? Yes. Creation, creative, creativity, creator. All of these are connected to create. You understood them without opening a dictionary, just by recognizing the family. Let's do another one together. The word move. What forms can we make? Movement, removal, movie, mover, again. All connected. This shows you that words aren't lonely islands. They're part of a big family. And when you see a new member, you can guess its meaning because of the family resemblance. Now, let's shift to context clues inside sentences. There are usually 4 types of clues that help you understand new words. First, sometimes the sentence gives you a direct explanation. For example, she is bilingual, which means she can speak 2 languages. The phrase which means tells you the definition immediately. Second, sometimes the sentence uses examples. For instance, he enjoys citrus fruits such as oranges, lemons, and limes. Even if you didn't know citrus, you understand from the examples. Third, sometimes the sentence contrasts the new word with something familiar. Like this: unlike his gregarious brother, Tom is shy and quiet. If you know shy and quiet, then gregarious must mean the opposite. Someone who likes being social and friendly. Fourth, sometimes the sentence gives you a feeling through tone or mood. For example, she slammed the door angrily. Even if slammed is new, you feel the mood of anger. It must mean closed very hard. Let's practice together with some of these clues. Here's one. He felt jubilant after hearing the good news. What does jubilant mean? Look at the clue. Good news. He felt so jubilant must mean very happy. Say it with me. Jubilant means very happy. Another one. The forest was tranquil, with birds singing softly and a gentle breeze in the trees. The word is tranquil. Think about the atmosphere. Birds, soft, gentle breeze. It must mean calm and peaceful. Say it with me. Tranquil means calm and peaceful. Now repeat the full sentence out loud. Let's try one more. He was reluctant to join the game, unlike his friends who were eager. What does reluctant mean? The clue is unlike eager, so reluctant must mean not willing, not wanting to do something. Yes. Say it with me. Reluctant means not willing. Good job. These little exercises might seem simple, but they're training your mind to stop looking for translations and instead look for hints. Every time you do this, you're rewiring your brain to think directly in English. Now, let's practice with a short story for shadowing. Repeat after me slowly. Maria hesitated before speaking, unsure of how to express her feelings. Finally, she gathered the courage to continue. Which word is new? Maybe hesitated from the story. You can guess it means pausing before doing something. Yes. Hesitated means paused before acting. Say it again with me. Maria hesitated before speaking. Try to act it out. Imagine yourself stopping, taking a breath, then speaking. That action helps you feel the word. Here's another practice story. The city was bustling with activity as vendors sold food and people hurried to work. The word is bustling. From the sentence, you can imagine a busy, lively scene. So, bustling means full of energy and movement. Repeat with me. Bustling means busy and full of energy. Now say the sentence. The city was bustling with activity. Good. One more. The child was fascinated by the magician's tricks, watching with wide eyes. Which word is new? Yes. Fascinated. Look at the child's wide eyes. Watching carefully. It must mean extremely interested or amazed. Say it with me. Fascinated means amazed and very interested. Then say, the child was fascinated by the magician's tricks. By practicing like this, you're slowly teaching your brain to notice details and to connect them to meaning. This is how you can learn any new word without needing a dictionary every time. Another powerful way to understand words without a dictionary is to connect them to emotions. Every word carries a certain feeling, and your brain is really good at noticing those feelings if you pay attention. For example, listen to this sentence. She was thrilled to finally meet her favorite actor. Even if thrilled is new, you can feel from the sentence that it's something positive and exciting. She's happy. Maybe even overjoyed. So, thrilled means extremely happy or excited. Say it with me. Thrilled means very excited. Now imagine yourself meeting someone you admire and repeat again. I was thrilled to meet her. Can you feel how the emotion makes the words stay alive in your memory? Let's practice with another one. He was devastated when his team lost the final match. The word is devastated. Notice the tone. It's the opposite of thrilled. The team lost. And he feels really bad. So, devastated must mean extremely sad or broken-hearted. Say it with me. Devastated means very sad. Then say, he was devastated when his team lost. Feel the heavy emotion as you speak. This method works beautifully because emotions are powerful memory tools. When you tie a word to a strong feeling, your brain doesn't forget it easily. That's why stories, movies, and conversations are excellent teachers. They're full of emotions that carry the words deep into your memory. Now, let's do a little role-play exercise. I'll give you a short scene, and you repeat it after me while trying to feel the word inside it. Anna was nervous before giving her big presentation. Repeat after me slowly. Anna was nervous before giving her big presentation. Nervous means worried or anxious. Can you remember a time you felt nervous? Maybe before an exam or before speaking in front of people. Connect that memory to this sentence. Now the word belongs to you. Another role play. James was overjoyed when he got the job he always wanted. Repeat after me. James was overjoyed when he got the job he always wanted. Overjoyed means extremely happy. Feel the excitement inside your body as you say it. Smile as you repeat. I was overjoyed. This exercise helps you not only understand the word, but also embody it. And once your body and mind feel the word, you don't need a dictionary to remind you. Now, let's move into another important skill. Noticing synonyms and antonyms in real situations. Synonyms are words that have similar meanings, while antonyms are opposites. If you know one, you can often guess the other. For example, big. If you hear huge, you can guess it's similar. If you hear tiny, you can guess it's the opposite. Let's practice with sentences. The movie was hilarious, and everyone in the theater laughed loudly. What could hilarious mean? If everyone laughed, it must mean very funny. So, hilarious means very funny, a synonym of funny. Another one. The mountain was gigantic compared to the houses below. Gigantic is similar to big, but much bigger. So, gigantic means extremely large. Now, for an antonym example, the room was dim. Unlike the bright hallway outside, from the contrast, dim means not bright, not much light. See how easy it is when you pay attention to clues like unlike or but. Let's try a little synonym-antonym game. Repeat these sentences after me and guess the meanings. The soup was scalding when it arrived at the table. What does scalding mean? Think. Soup just arrived. Too hot. So, scalding means very hot. Next one. The street was deserted late at night, but in the morning it was crowded. Deserted must mean the opposite of crowded, which is empty. Yes. Next. Her handwriting is neat, but his is sloppy. Neat and sloppy are opposites. Neat means clean and tidy. Sloppy means messy. Say them with me. Neat means tidy. Sloppy means messy. It's a bit of a mess. Right. But this technique is incredibly effective because so many written works, books, and everyday conversations rely on comparisons. And if you really pay attention, you can learn new words almost automatically. Now, let's get back to practicing with shadowing. Please repeat these sentences slowly, following along with me. The child was drowsy after lunch and soon fell asleep. Drowsy simply means sleepy. The party was lively with music and dancing all night long. Lively means being full of energy. She was cautious while crossing the busy street. Cautious means careful. By repeating these, by feeling them, and by making connections, you're engaging in real vocabulary training that sets you free from constantly relying on a dictionary. Another tip that works wonders is using your immediate surroundings. When you're walking around outside, take a look around and try to name everything you see in English. If you happen to not know the exact word, try describing it using what you do know. And your brain will more often than not fill in that missing piece. For instance, if you don't happen to know the word bench, you could describe it as that thing where people sit in the park. Later on, when you hear or read the word bench, you'll make that connection almost instantly. Let's put this description method into practice. I'm going to give you a word, and I want you to try and describe it in English without translating it. The word is umbrella. How would you describe it? Maybe you'd say, it's the thing you use when it's raining to keep dry. Perfect. Now, the word ladder. You could describe it as, it's the thing you climb to reach something high up. Yes. Exactly. Next word. Mirror. How would you describe it? It's the glass you look at to see your reflection. Very good. See how you explained all of those words without translating. That's precisely how your brain is naturally designed to learn. Sometimes, a single picture in your mind is more effective at explaining something than any dictionary could ever be. Whenever you hear a new word, try to imagine a small scene that word fits into. This technique is referred to as visualization, and it makes learning considerably faster. For example, let's use the word wander. If you read, he wandered through the forest for hours. What do you picture in your head? You likely see a person walking slowly, without a clear path, just exploring their surroundings. That picture illustrates that wander means to walk without having a fixed direction. Now, repeat after me. He wandered through the forest for hours. Imagine yourself in that forest, walking slowly and peacefully. Here's another one. The kids scampered to the playground as soon as school ended. If scampered is a new word. Close your eyes and imagine children running quickly and playfully. That image gives you the meaning. Scampered means ran quickly in a playful manner. Say it with me. The kids scampered to the playground. Feel their excitement as you repeat it. Visualization also works beautifully with feelings. Imagine this sentence. She glared at him after the argument. The word here is glared. If you picture her angry face, staring with sharp eyes, you immediately know that it means looked angrily. Say it. She glared at him. Act it out with your own eyes to truly feel the word. Now, let's practice a little series together. Repeat these sentences after me. And really try to imagine the action taking place. The baby crawled across the floor. Crawled means moved on hands and knees. The boy leapt into the swimming pool. Leapt means jumped. The leaves rustled in the wind. Rustled means made a soft sound while moving. Each time you say it, make a little picture in your head, and the word will stick with you for longer. Another powerful trick is to notice prefixes and suffixes. These are little parts that are added to words that ultimately change their meaning. If you know what those parts mean, you can often guess the meaning of a word without even needing to look it up. For example, often means not. If you know the word comfortable, then uncomfortable means not comfortable. If you know happy, then unhappy means not happy. It's simple, but super effective. Suffixes work the same way. For example, often means a person who does something. Teach becomes teacher. Write becomes writer. Sing becomes singer. Even if you've never known a word before, you can understand it simply from the pattern. Let's practice this quickly. What does driver mean? Yes, a person who drives. What does dancer mean? A person who dances. What does reader mean? A person who reads. Let's practice with example sentences. The writer finished her new book. You can guess that writer means someone who writes books. The singer performed on stage. A singer is someone who sings. The builder worked hard all day. A builder is someone who builds. You see the pattern, and you don't need a dictionary to explain it. Let's shadow together. Repeat with me slowly. The teacher helped the student. The worker repaired the car. The painter colored the wall. Notice how each word describes a person by the action that they do. Using this approach, you can understand dozens of new words just from a single suffix. Another helpful suffix is ness, which changes an adjective into a noun. For example, happy becomes happiness, sad becomes sadness, dark becomes darkness. Now you can guess the meaning even if you're seeing the word for the very first time. Happiness means the state of being happy. Sadness means the state of being sad. Let's practice. Her kindness made everyone smile. Kindness comes from kind. The darkness of the room scared him. Darkness comes from dark. The sweetness of care. The cake surprised her. Sweetness comes from sweet. Every time you encounter these little building blocks in English, you're unlocking the language step by step. It's kind of like having a secret key that opens many doors all at once. Now, let's bring it back to daily life. Imagine that you are shopping and you see a sign that says refundable, even if you've never seen that word before. You know that fund means money, and able means possible. So, refundable must mean possible to get your money back. You didn't check a dictionary, you just solved the puzzle. Isn't that awesome? This technique makes learning English less intimidating and much more playful. Each unknown word becomes a mystery that you can solve. And each clue that you find makes you even stronger. Another excellent way to understand almost any English word without using a dictionary is through seeing the word repeated in different situations. When you come across the same word in several different contexts, your brain automatically starts to build its meaning. For example, think about the word charge. If you see it in a sentence like, "He charged his phone," you understand it to mean putting energy into the phone later on. If you hear, "The store charged me $10, you realize that it can also mean to ask for payment then. If you read, "The soldiers charged forward," you realize that it means to rush or to move quickly. Same word. 3 completely different contexts. And 3 connected meanings. Your brain collects all of these little pieces and builds a full picture of the word's meaning. You didn't even need to memorize anything. You just noticed. Let's practice this together. I'm going to give you a word and 3 different sentences. I want you to repeat each sentence after me. Then, we'll connect the meanings. The word is light. First, the room was filled with light. Second, she will light the candle. Third, this bag is light, not heavy. See how the meaning kind of shifts? In the first one, light is brightness. In the second one, light means to start a flame. In the third one, light means not heavy. All of these are connected in some way, and with repetition, your brain stores them easily. Here's another example. The word is watch. Sentence 1. He likes to watch movies. Sentence 2. She wears a watch on her wrist. Sentence 3. Please watch the children while I cook. First, it means to look at. Second, it's a small clock. Third, it means to take care of. Same word, but different uses. Repeat each one of these after me slowly. And notice how flexible words can be. This flexibility is one of the reasons why dictionaries can't always really help you. A dictionary might give you 10 different definitions, but real life shows you the true meaning through use. That's why listening and reading a lot are both so powerful. The more that you expose yourself to the English language, the more that your brain connects all of the dots naturally. Now, let's do a little active practice. Imagine that you are telling a friend about your day yesterday. You could say, "I watched a movie." You could also say, "I watched my younger brother for an hour." And you might add, "I looked at my watch to check the time." You just used the same word in 3 different ways in your own story. That's how you master vocabulary naturally. Another useful method is substitution. When you hear a new word, try to replace it with another simple word that you already know, and see if it fits. For example, the mountain was colossal. Maybe you don't know colossal. Replace it with big. Does it fit? Yes. So, colossal means very big, or oh, she whispered something. Replace whispered with spoke quietly. It fits. This trick helps you to stay in the flow of the conversation. Instead of having to stop to look up a translation, let's practice substitution together. The dessert was scrumptious. Replace it with delicious. Yes, it works. So, scrumptious means delicious. He was furious about the mistake. Replace furious with very angry. Yes. Furious means very angry. The students were silent. Replace silent with quiet. Yes. Silent means completely quiet. Every time you try this, you train your brain to guess the meaning on the spot. Now, let's add some shadowing practice with some daily life sentences. Repeat after me. Slowly. The little boy was curious about the new toy. Curious means wanting to know more. The road was slippery after the rain. Slippery means easy to slide on. The athlete was determined to win the race. Determined means having a strong decision. Each word became clear from the sentence. You can also train this skill while you're reading stories or articles. When you see a new word, don't stop. Read the sentence before it, and the sentence after it. Ask yourself, is this word describing a person, an action, a feeling, or an object? Often, the position of the word can give you the answer. For example, in the sentence, the cat is playful. The word is describing the cat. So, it's an adjective. Even if you don't know playful, you know that it's some quality of the cat. That alone helps you guess the meaning. Let's do a quick exercise with this method. The flowers are fragrant. What is fragrant describing? The flowers. So, it's an adjective, and it's a quality of the flowers. And flowers usually smell nice. So, fragrant means having a pleasant smell. Another one. The task was tedious. Task is a thing to do. So, tedious is a description of the task. If the sentence says that it took a long time and he was bored, tedious must mean boring. This way, even the position of the word helps you. Think of words like little puzzles. When you find them, don't feel blocked. Smile and say, "Let me solve this." Your brain will use clues, context, and your own experience to figure it out. And with time, this will become automatic. Sometimes the fastest way to understand words is not to focus on the word itself, but to focus on the story around it. Every word lives inside of a bigger story, and that story will always give you clues. Let me show you how this works with an example. The candle flickered in the dark room. If flickered is a new word, imagine the picture. Candle, dark room, light moving. You can guess that it means the light moved unsteadily, like it goes on and off quickly. Repeat after me. The candle flickered in the dark room. Imagine that small, moving flame while you say it. Another one. He clenched his fists when he heard the news. Maybe clenched is new, but fists. News. Reaction. He is holding his hands tightly. So, clenched means closed tightly in anger or stress. Repeat it with me. He clenched his fists. Make the action with your own hands as you speak, and your brain will remember it. This is the secret. Combine reading, listening, and imagining all together. When your brain gets sound, image, and feeling at the same time, it doesn't need translation. The meaning will stay naturally. Let's try a short story together. Listen carefully. Sarah walked into the empty classroom. The chairs were scattered, and papers were strewn across the floor. She sighed, realizing she had a lot of cleaning to do. Which word is new? Maybe strewn. The clues are chairs scattered, papers on the floor. Strewn must mean spread out or thrown around. Repeat with me. The papers were strewn across the floor. Imagine the mess. And suddenly the meaning is clear. Here's another little story. After hours of hiking, they finally reached the summit of the mountain. The view was breathtaking. If summit is new, look at the context. Hours of hiking, top of a mountain, view. Summit means the top. Breathtaking is easier now. The view was amazing. So beautiful that it almost takes your breath away. Repeat with me. They reached the summit of the mountain. The view was breathtaking. Feel the picture in your mind. Now, let's move into daily life examples. Imagine you're in the kitchen. You hear, the soup is simmering on the stove. If simmering is new, notice the situation. Soup, stove, cooking. It must mean cooking slowly on low heat. Say it with me. The soup is simmering on the stove. Picture the pot of soup gently bubbling. Another kitchen word. She sprinkled sugar on her coffee. Maybe sprinkle is new. Sugar, coffee. It means to drop small amounts on top. Repeat after me. She sprinkled sugar on her coffee. Imagine yourself doing it right now. These simple actions show you that learning vocabulary isn't really about translation. It's about noticing life and giving names to things that you already know. Now, let's practice some shadowing with action verbs. Repeat each sentence slowly. He yawned because he was sleepy. Yawned means opened his mouth when tired. The phone buzzed on the table. Buzzed means made a vibrating sound. She hummed her favorite tune while cooking. Hummed means made a soft sound with lips closed. Each of these is easy to guess when you imagine the action. Here's another fun way to grow your vocabulary. Exaggeration. When you act out a word with your body, making the movements bigger than normal, it becomes unforgettable. Let's try it. Say with me. I was shivering. Act it out with your body. Shake like you're cold. Now. I was sneezing. Pretend to sneeze. Next. Move your arms wide. These actions lock the meaning deeper into your memory. Words aren't only ideas in your head. They are movements, pictures, and emotions. That's why you can learn any English word without translation. If you just connect it to your senses, see it, hear it, feel it, act it, and it will stay. Now, let's try combining everything we've learned so far. Listen carefully. The little kittens scampered into the garden, chased a butterfly, and then pounced on a leaf. Maybe scampered and pounced are new. But look at the clues. Kittens are playful, and they run quickly. So, scampered means ran quickly in a playful way. Pounced is what cats do when they jump suddenly to catch something. Repeat after me. The kitten scampered into the garden. The kitten pounced on a leaf. Picture it in your mind. And smile. Now you know the words. When you begin to notice how words work, you realize that English is full of patterns. These patterns are your friends. Because once you recognize them, You can guess new words almost instantly. For example, think about the suffix full if you know beautiful. You can also understand helpful, grateful, and careful. The pattern is clear. Full usually means full of something. Beautiful means full of beauty. Careful means full of care. Grateful means full of gratitude. You don't need a dictionary to see this. Just attention to the shape of the word. Let's practice repeating. Say with me slowly. Beautiful, helpful, careful, grateful. Hear the rhythm in your voice. Now, place them in sentences. The garden was beautiful. The teacher was helpful. Be careful with the glass. I am grateful for your kindness. Each sentence reinforces the pattern. Now, let's look at the opposite suffix. Less. It usually means without. If you know hope, then hopeless means without hope. If you know care, then careless means without care. If you know fear, then fearless means without fear. Again. One pattern gives you so many words. Repeat after me. Hopeless, careless, fearless. Use them in sentences. He felt hopeless after the exam. It was careless of me to forget. She is fearless when she speaks in public. This shows that English is a bit like a puzzle. Each piece connects to another. And when you recognize those pieces, you can understand new words quickly. Now, let's practice with some everyday examples. Listen carefully. The medicine is tasteless. What does tasteless mean? Without taste. Her words were meaningless. Without meaning. The desert was waterless. Without water. Say them with me now. Tasteless. Meaningless. Waterless. Your brain connects them naturally. Another powerful prefix is re. It usually means again. For example, rewrite means write again. Replay means play again. Rebuild means build again. When you see this prefix in a new word, you can guess that it has something to do with repeating an action. Let's shadow these sentences. I need to rewrite my notes. We watched the replay of the match. They will rebuild the house. Each one shows the meaning clearly. Now let's practice the prefix pre, which means before. For example, preview means to view before. Predict means to say before it happens. Prepare means to get ready before. Say them slowly with me. Preview, predict, prepare. Use them in sentences. We watched the preview of the movie. She predicted the winner. He prepared for the trip. You see? Once you know the piece, pre, you can unlock many words. The same is true for miss, which often means wrong or badly. For example, misunderstand means to understand wrongly. Misplace means to put in the wrong place. Mispronounce means to say a word wrongly. Repeat after me. Misunderstand. Misplace. Mispronounce. Place them in sentences. Don't misunderstand me. I misplaced my keys. He mispronounced the name. By noticing prefixes and suffixes, you save yourself a lot of time and energy. You don't need to look everything up. You can build the meaning yourself. Now, let's bring this into a real practice activity. I'm going to give you a short paragraph, and you try to guess the words from the pattern. After the mistake, she felt helpless and hopeless, but her friend encouraged her to restart and rebuild her confidence. Which words might be new? Helpless, hopeless, restart, and rebuild. But you already know the pieces. Less means without, so helpless means without help. Hopeless means without hope. Means again. Restart means start again. Rebuild means build again. You just understood 4 words by recognizing small pieces. Isn't that powerful? Now repeat the sentences slowly with me. She felt helpless. She felt hopeless. She decided to restart. She worked to rebuild her confidence. Each repetition helps your memory grow stronger. Another exercise. Listen carefully. The careless driver misplaced his wallet, but fortunately, a fearless child found it and returned it. Which words stand out? Careless, misplaced, and fearless. You already know careless means without care. Misplaced means put in the wrong place. And fearless means without fear. Now repeat with me. The careless driver misplaced his wallet. A fearless child found it. These little stories give you meaning without needing any dictionary. This is how English becomes less about memorizing and more about discovering. You are not just a student, you are a detective. Finding clues, noticing pieces, and solving small puzzles. And each puzzle you solve makes you stronger. Sometimes the best way to understand a word is not to focus on the word itself, but to focus on the story around it. Context always speaks louder than a dictionary. Let me show you how this works. Imagine you read, "After the long flight, she was drowsy and fell asleep immediately." Even if drowsy is new, the clues are right there. Long flight, fell asleep immediately. Drowsy must mean sleepy. Say it slowly with me. She was drowsy and fell asleep. Picture yourself after a long day. Your eyes heavy, ready to sleep. Now the word feels more natural. Here's another one. The crowd erupted in applause when the singer finished. Erupted might be new, but crowd, applause, and singer finished. What usually happens? Everyone claps suddenly and loudly. So, erupted must mean started suddenly, with a lot of energy. Repeat after me. The crowd erupted in applause. Imagine the sound. Feel the energy. That's how you truly learn. Notice how your brain solves problems like this. You don't need someone to explain the word in your native language. Your brain uses logic, images, and feelings. That is why you can learn English without stopping for translation. Let's practice a few more sentences together. He lingered at the door, unsure if he should leave. Lingered. What does it mean? Think. At the door. Unsure. Not leaving. Lingered means stayed for longer than usual. Say it with me. He lingered at the door. Imagine waiting. Hesitating. The word is yours. Another one. The little boy was reluctant to try the new food. Reluctant. Look at the sentence. New food. Little boy not sure. Doesn't want to try? Reluctant means not willing, not eager. Say, he was reluctant. And feel that hesitation in your body. One more. The baby was giggling when her father tickled her. Giggling, baby. Father tickled. You can hear the sound in your mind. Laughing in a light, playful way. Say, the baby was giggling. Smile as you say it. Because the emotion makes the word stay. These exercises aren't only about vocabulary. They are about training your brain to think directly in English. Every time you guess, every time you imagine, and every time you repeat, you are rewiring your mind to skip translation. That is the secret to fluency. Now, let's do some shadowing practice with a short story. Repeat each sentence after me. Emma glanced at the clock. Glanced means looked quickly. She rushed to grab her bag. Rushed means moved fast. She dashed out of the house. Dashed means ran quickly. Did you notice? 3 new words, all learned without a dictionary, just from context and action. Another practice story. The market was bustling with people. Vendors were shouting their prices. Children darted between the stalls. Bustling means busy and full of activity. Darted means moved quickly. Say it with me. The market was bustling. The children darted between the stalls. Imagine the lively scene. The words will stay with you. This is how powerful stories are. They make words memorable because they connect meaning, sound, and image all together. Here's a tip for daily practice. When you read or listen in English, don't pause every time you see a new word. Just keep going. Guess the meaning and confirm it with the story. Later on, if you see the same word again, your guess will become stronger. After a few times, you'll know it without ever opening a dictionary. Let's practice with a guessing game. Listen. The old castle looked majestic on top of the hill. What does majestic mean? Castle. On top of hill looks impressive. Majestic means grand, beautiful, and powerful. Another one. She muttered something quietly. Muttered. She said something, but quietly. So, muttered means spoke softly and unclearly. One more. He devoured the pizza in minutes. Devoured pizza. Minutes. Finished quickly. Devoured means ate greedily and fast. Repeat each sentence with me and feel the meaning. Now imagine yourself in these situations. You devour a meal when you are starving. You mutter when you don't want others to hear clearly. You look at a majestic mountain when you travel. By connecting the word to your life, you make it part of your vocabulary forever. This is why practice is always more powerful than memorization. A dictionary gives you one line of meaning, but real life gives you 10 different experiences. And your brain always remembers experiences much longer than definitions. The more that you practice understanding words without using a dictionary, the more confident you'll become in every single situation. At first, you may worry that guessing is dangerous. But actually, guessing is the very skill that native speakers use them every day. Just think about it for a second. Even native English speakers don't know absolutely every single word in the language. When they're reading scientific papers or legal documents, they also come across new words they haven't seen before. But do they stop and look up each and every one of them? Nope. They read the entire sentence, figure out the meaning from the surrounding words, and keep going. That's precisely what you're training yourself to do. Let's put this way of thinking into practice with a few examples. The scientist unveiled a groundbreaking discovery. If groundbreaking is a new word for you, the clue is in discovery. If it's a discovery, it has to be something important. Groundbreaking means something that is very new and important. Say it with me. The scientist unveiled a groundbreaking discovery. Here's another one. The artist sketched the outline before painting. If sketched is unfamiliar, take a look at the context. Artist. Outline. Painting. Sketched means drew quickly. Say it. The artist sketched the outline Here's another one. The hiker trudged through the muddy path. Trudged might be new, but the clue is in muddy path. Hiker, he's walking slowly with difficulty. Trudged means walked with effort. Say it. The hiker trudged through the muddy path. You figured out the meaning without a translation. Now, let's work through a little story together. It was raining really hard. People hurried under their umbrellas. One man dashed into a cafe, dripping wet. He ordered a hot drink and sighed with relief. Which words could be new to you? Dashed and sighed. But you can tell from the story that dashed means moved quickly. Sighed means breathed out in relief. You don't need a dictionary to figure it out. Repeat after me. Slowly. He dashed into a cafe. He sighed with relief. Can you picture the scene clearly in your mind? That image makes the words stick with you. Here's another story. The library was silent. Students were bent over their books. Suddenly, someone sneezed really loudly, and everyone chuckled. Sneezed may be new, but you know the sound. Chuckled might be new, but think about it. After a sneeze, everyone laughed quietly, so chuckled means laughed softly. Say it with me. Everyone chuckled. Repeat it again while smiling because the emotion is important. This is how natural learning happens. Your brain loves stories, loves emotions, loves pictures. That's why reading books, watching movies, and listening to conversations are more effective for building your vocabulary than just memorizing lists. Lists are boring and lifeless. Stories are alive. Now, let's try some shadowing practice. Repeat these sentences after me. She whispered a secret. Whispered means spoke very quietly. He slammed the door. Slammed means closed it loudly and with force. The child crawled on the floor. Crawled means moved on hands and knees. The phone rang suddenly. Rang means made a sound. Each of these is easy to understand if you imagine the action in your mind. Another helpful practice is to play with opposites. If you know one side of something, you can often guess the other. For example, if you know hot, then cold is its opposite. If you know tall, then short is its opposite. Let's use this with sentences. The water was boiling. Boiling means very hot, so if you later see freezing, you can guess it means very cold. Repeat with me. The water was boiling. The air was freezing. See how opposites can help you out. Now let's do some active, everyday life practice. Imagine you're telling someone about your day. You say, I was exhausted after work. Exhausted means very tired. The next day, you say, I was energetic in the morning. Energetic means full of energy. Opposites again. Say them both. Exhausted, energetic. Your brain makes the connection between them. Another good activity is to notice patterns in sounds. A lot of English words describe sounds, and they often sound like the thing they describe. For example, buzz is the sound of a bee or a phone. Bang is the sound of something hitting. Crash is the sound of something breaking. Whisper is soft, just like the sound itself. Repeat with me. Buzz. Bang. Crash. Whisper. When you say them, really listen to the sound. The word itself teaches you its meaning. Now, let's put them in sentences. The phone buzzed on the table. The door banged shut. The glass crashed to the floor. She whispered my name. Can you hear the sound as you repeat each one? That's how sound-based teaching works. You've seen how context, feelings, sounds, actions, and patterns all work together to guide you. Every sentence is like a little puzzle, and when you slow down, pay attention to the clues, and connect them with your imagination, the meaning becomes clear. Think back on what we practiced together. You learned how to use stories to guess the meaning of new words. You learned how prefixes and suffixes can unlock meaning. You discovered how synonyms, opposites, and even sound patterns can help you. You practiced shadowing sentences, connecting words to emotions, and acting them out with your body. With each exercise, you've trained your brain to trust itself, to stop translating in your head, to stop panicking, and to think directly in English. This kind of change doesn't happen overnight. It grows slowly. Like a tree, every time you hear or read a new word, you have two choices. You can stop, get frustrated, and reach for a dictionary, or you can smile, take a breath, and say, "Let me guess. Let me discover." If you choose the second option again and again, your brain gets stronger. Soon, words that once seemed scary will feel natural and familiar. Let's do one more story together before we finish up. Listen carefully. The storm raged outside all night long. The windows rattled, the trees swayed, and the thunder boomed. In the morning, the sky was calm and clear. Which words might be new to you in that story? Rattled, swayed, and boomed. But you already know them. Windows make a noise in the wind. Rattled. Trees move from side to side. Swayed. Thunder makes a loud sound. Boomed. You understood them all without any translation. Repeat the sentences with me slowly. The windows rattled. The trees swayed. The thunder boomed. Feel the story in your mind. See the picture, and the words will never leave you. This is how you keep growing and improving. Read every day, listen every day, and, most importantly, notice things every day. Don't rush to translate. Pause for a moment, look at the clues, and let your brain do the work. It's smarter than you think it is. The more you trust it, the faster you will become fluent. Now I want you to practice even after this video is over, tonight. When you read something in English, choose one new word and try to guess its meaning from the context. Don't open the dictionary right away. Instead, write down your guess. Then, confirm it later. This habit will train you to be an independent learner, step by step. Your vocabulary will expand naturally. And remember, fluency isn't just about knowing a lot of words. It's about confidence, about trusting your own ability to think. Each time you understand a word on your own, you feel a little stronger. And when you feel stronger, you speak with more ease. That's how fluency grows. Through practice, trust, and discovery. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you enjoyed practicing, guessing, repeating, and imagining along with me. If you found this lesson helpful, be sure to subscribe to Native Flow English and click on the little bell icon so you never miss a new video. We share lessons every day to help you become more confident in English. One step at a time. Take a moment right now and repeat this promise with me. I can understand new words. I can trust myself. I can become fluent. Say it again. Slowly. I can understand. I can trust. I can become fluent. Carry this promise with you as you keep practicing. So keep listening. Keep repeating. Keep noticing. And soon you will discover that English isn't just a list of words to memorize, but a living language that you can enjoy every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.